here we are. We're visiting an Iron Age structure in the northeast of Scotland called Carn, Liath. And this is the parking, and the sign is pointing us to the right. There's a reason for that, and the reason is just driven past. But Carn, Liath is actually over there. We're going to go right first, take a walk with the dog, over to this ancient monument, and we'll talk about it on the way. Okay, so here's Trixie, ready for action. Right, Trixie? Trixie's having a bit of a sniff at stuff anyway here at the moment. Now you'll notice here's we're way up past Inverness in the north of Scotland. Just pointing directly south here, you'll see the turrets and the top of just in front of us here, you might be able to see. Come on. You might be able to see the peaks just poking over the trees down there. It's a little bit difficult with this magnification, or the kind of wide angle video that we have here. But the turrets of a castle that belongs to the Sutherlands. And we are in the county of Sutherland in northern Scotland. And you're going to hear cars going past all the time because this is the busy road that goes from Inverness all the way up to Thurso and Orkney, and the ferries up there that take you across the water. So we come down here to a sign that says caution, traffic everywhere, and we're going to just put Trixie in a bit of a short leash in a second, and we're going to go across. We wait for no traffic and we make our way across, and then we can walk to Carn, Liath. Now, Carn, Liath is the name of it nowadays. Come here, we're staying in here. Carn, Liath is the name of it nowadays, but who knows what it was called originally. So this structure is from the old Pictish population of Scotland. I think we'll get across after this white one. We may edit out some of this noise. So the Pictish population of Scotland, or Iron Age Scotland, they're the people who replaced the Bronze Age in Scotland, in the north of Scotland. And they had a particular architectural style that's been left behind, and that's what we're going to go and look at. So this thing, Carn, Liath, is what the Scottish called a broch. And the broch is, it's very unclear exactly what it is and what its purpose was, but it appears to be some kind of fortified farmhouse or fortified village centre. Most of them have associated buildings around the outside of them, which we'll see a little bit of here. There is another broch we might see in Orkney on the way home. We're just out on a wee tour at the moment, and we'll be able to compare them maybe. But in this particular video, we're looking at Carn, Liath. So out to the right here is the North Sea, and we can look across to the coast of Scotland, and we see that point over there on the shore. You can see some land just in the distance there. When that comes to a point, we start heading south towards Aberdeen. But we're walking along here. Let's see Trixie for a just quick visit. Hello Trixie, how are you doing? Doing a good job there. Right. So walking the dog and visiting an ancient monument, that's what we're doing today. And the North Sea, and on a clear day, it's a little bit hazy out in the horizon, but we can see some of the gas rigs and oil rigs that are installed out here in the shallow water of the North Sea. And a little bit further north, there's a big wind farm in the North Sea as well, which we can see on another day maybe, but you need telephoto lenses, not this. This is just the phone camera. So we're very nearly there, and you should see the structure becoming visible in amongst the trees just ahead of us. Now, if we were back here in the day when this structure was functional, it would have been considerably taller. Now they're saying that I think some of the very few that survive intact reach up maybe 3 stories worth, 3 to 4 stories in height from their base, and the base of this one is already on a mound or on a hill, probably man-made. And so standing here, we would see one that a building that reached up pretty much to the top of the screen in this video. Just looking at it, so you can see where the base of the structure is, and it would maybe have reached up very close to the top of the screen in this from this distance. But as we come along here, you'll see the structure much more clearly. It comes out from behind the trees. And so here we go. As you can see, it's really just, we can see what, 10 courses of stonework on the left there, rising up out of the ground. But as we will see shortly, the base of the structure, the ground floor of the structure, if you like, or the basement of the structure, is much lower than that. We will see. We just have to get through a little animal gate here. So we're just going to walk up and have a look. There we go. So you can see that structure. Just that, with any luck, that'll be a still that we can use for a what do they call it? A thumbnail. So as you can see here, there's not just, oh, it's doing a big wag on me again. Not just the main structure. You can see there are walls on the outside of this, and as we go up, we'll see that there is another circuit here, another course of defences, if you like, if these are indeed some kind of fortification. There's the road beyond us. Then we have the brickwork of the main building. And then again, as we go around to the right, we see more walls here on the right hand side. And the whole structure faces out to the sea. Now a lot of these brochs are found on the coast, where they have a good view of the sea, and possibly where they would have good harbour facilities. Now, how much of this hill that we're standing on is artificial is open to question, but there's probably a good chance that certainly the terrace here, the revetments that have gone here were originally put in by the Iron Age people to keep the whole thing level. Here's Trixie, check it, doing a poetic thing of looking out to sea, right, Trixie? Looking out to sea? Or do you spot some sheep? All right, so let's move around. Here's the building, and we come across some buried stones. So there's a lot of stonework under our feet here at the moment, and we can go along and have a look at. I'll read out what it says on the. I'll read out what it says in the plinth. There's a plinth here that gives us a bit more historical information from the experts. But as you can see, that even around the front of the building now, we're starting to see more extant bits of building that are around the front, and we'll have a good look around there in a minute. All right, so what we want to do here is go down to, there is a channel or a path that runs right the way down the hill, and maybe this is some kind of functional connection to something else, but as you can probably just about see, it kind of drops off the hill there. Let's just dip that up so we can see it a bit better. As you can see, it kind of just falls over the side. Not easy to see because you can't see the contrast in the grass. But anyway, so here is I'll just read out what it says in the tourist document. The plinth here. Oh, we're now back into. I'm gonna start editing these because this is shocking the way it keeps sticking into portrait. So we will have to look at the editing. But as you can see here, here's the plinth, which you can't see, but there's a recreation of what they think it looked like originally. and with some kind of thatched roof on it. And you can also see the map of Scotland that's got a lot of brochs on it. A lot of them are in Orkney and Shetland, and very rare anywhere beyond the south of the Great Glen. Anyway, brochs are one of Scotland's most impressive prehistoric buildings. These tall stone roundhouses date from about 2,300 to 1,900 years ago and are found mainly in North and West Scotland. The double-skinned dry stone walls support each other and make possible a high building of relatively lightweight structure. Musa in Shetland, the tallest surviving broch, still stands over 13 metres, although it is unlikely they were all of such stature. Carn Liath is one of the few excavated brochs on the Scottish mainland with surviving outbuildings. It may belong to a wealthy family, demonstrating their power and influence in the area. Whoever built the broch was fairly confident of their community's success, as the boundary wall is some distance away, leaving plenty of room for storage buildings or other houses. See, there's a kind of a floor plan there. This plan shows the hidden features discovered during excavations. Now, a lot of the thinking, I think, is that the ground floor of the broch wouldn't have been used on a regular basis, but we'll take a walk around these buildings here on the outside first, and then we'll go into the broch and have a look. Right, so bear with me. So as you can see, there are various little we also have a train on the railway. There you can see it's just disappearing past. So there are various little alcoves here that would maybe stabling, barns for animals. The weather can be pretty inclement around here, and there we go. We're gone into another portrait mode. I really have to figure out how that can stop that. This may not be the best app either, but it's a better app than the previous one because I can do slightly better. So we're in some kind of large enclosure here, or large space. May have been roofed, may have been a barn for animals. We presume that people wouldn't have lived here. And it's walled, and there you go, there's Trixie. Hello, Trixie. Good girl. Let's go into the broch then. So we're going to go in and have a look inside. Now, similar Iron Age structures are found in Ireland, but they tend to be of a grander scale. The dunes, or the forts of Ireland. And you'll see a few. Anyway, here's the entrance. So as you can see, we're just going to take a walk through here. There is a lintel stone over the doorway still. And as the guys, the sign said, this broch has been excavated. So as we come through here, there's a clear doorway just here that we can see, and a floor lintel. And then just to the right and left, there are a couple of little alcoves. This one seems to lead to another entrance, which Trixie's investigating. What do you think of that entrance, Trixie? Is that good? Yeah. And then over here we have a very small alcove. Maybe a storage for wet clothes or wet gear, who knows, keep the damp out of the broch. The whole point of the double skin, of course, is that the weather and the wind and the rain could come through the first skin, but would have lost all its velocity, all its speed, and as a result would the damp, we'll just see if we can see down here. You can see here, we can see the gap into the double skin that runs around the whole broch, and if we come up here we might see it a bit better. It's a wee bit hard, the light down there. I wonder if I can get the light on. We might be able to get the light on. There is a light in this thing. Let's see if I can get it on. For some reason my video cut out there, but we're now inside the broch, and I'm going to try and talk about all the things that I was talking about before. So these things were double skinned structures, as we saw with the little gap there. We're going to see the double skin in a bit more detail in just a second. But as you can see, as we pan around the inside of the broch, I'm just going to turn around, it's going to be the easiest thing. You can see that we're now at sort of 20 to 25 courses of stones from the inside. This is a much taller structure on the inside than it is on the outside. We're down lower than that earth rampart, if you like, behind the walls. We're going to go through that gap in just a minute and we'll have a look. But the entire point of the structure of the broch, and here's maybe the tallest bit of it, just there, tallest structure there, But the point is that this building would have risen quite a considerable height, and we would have had a roof over our head, and there was a communication through this way between the two walls. So the outer wall was designed to catch the weather and let any moisture that came through just run down the inside of the wall. It would be cold. The inner wall would remain dry, and that would aid the heating of the entire structure. So there's a artist's impression here. Let's see. On a plinth of people inside the Broch passing stuff around. There you go. So whether they had floors or the whole thing was open upwards, I don't know. That would be a good question. It seems like there are ledges there that floors could have been built on. So yes. Anyway, let's go through. Sorry I'm getting a bit sniffy, but it's cool today and the old mucous membranes just get going. I'll try and edit out the sniffs. So we're going to go through here, and as you can see, we're facing now the outer wall. And as we go through, Trixie, hop, go up the steps. Go on, it's a girl. You see Trixie going up the steps. So on our left is the outer wall that would catch the weather and drain down. And on the right would be the dry inner wall. And it's a relatively effective way of dealing with the kind of weather you get in northern Scotland, especially off that east coast. And I'm carefully climbing up here because I'm trying to watch the video at the same time. And when we get to the top, we can pan around and we can see the inside of the Broch. I'm just going to try and pan down, and we can see the whole structure from the top here. And if we come up, we'll see its location right looking out onto the North Sea. Alright, and I think for this video that's going to be about 20 minutes of video. There's Trixie. Queen of the castle, Trixie, that's you, isn't it? Queen of the castle. Let's go up here. And if we stand up right in the top, we should be able to get one more look down on the Broch. And then I think I'm going to end this video because there's no point filming the way back. There's not much else to see. But somewhere about 2,000 years old, this building. And there's a lot of sheep down there too.